Greetings, friends. If you're a regular viewer of this channel, you know I've been critical of modern or neo-shamanism. This is because when I study any given subject, I want to get to its core, to its deep historical and psychological significance. Modern shamanism, on the other hand, is contemporary bullshit perpetrated by charlatans. And because of my critical perspective on this subject, someone wrote to me stating, "Who are you to tell me who I'm not? I've studied for years. I am a shaman." Now, the first thing I thought was I must have struck a nerve, because only someone who knows they're a phony would react like that. Then I thought, the best way to respond would be with a video. So I bring you 7 ways of knowing you're not a shaman. Number 7, if you call yourself a modern shaman. See this guy? Do you have anything in common with him besides the fact you're both Homo sapiens? And do you think he refers to himself as a modern shaman? Of course he doesn't. It's obvious who he is, what he is. You, on the other hand, a better term for you is plastic shaman, because you're attempting to pass as a shaman when you have no real connection to those ancient cultures who have been practicing it since the beginning of time. Number 6, if you were born with a name like Karen or Lloyd, or Steve or Derek or Melinda, you get my point. Even if you blonde-haired, blue-eyed Americans think you have Cherokee blood flowing through your veins, it doesn't mean you qualify as a shaman. On a side note, just because you were born in the US doesn't make you a Cherokee. I've said this before. Why is it always Cherokee? Why isn't it Miwok, Pomo, or Pima? Number 5. If you became a shaman after watching an online video. Did you become aware of your shamanic powers after watching a video with a title like 7 Signs You're Destined to be a Shaman? Or maybe it was 10 signs or a dozen. Whatever the numbers were or what the traits are, it doesn't matter, because that glassy-eyed suburban housewife doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. Why do I say this? Because feeling like you might be a shaman isn't enough to make you a shaman. Trust me, if someone told you that simply feeling like you're a professional MMA fighter is enough to make you one, you're in for a rude awakening. Number 4, if your form of shamanism emphasizes love and light. Is your form of shamanism only about making people happy? If so, you're a phony. Did you know that real shamanic initiatory rites often involve pain, suffering, and fear, while you hippies emphasize happy shit? Shamanism, real shamanism, is often tempered with ideas of chaotic malevolence while delving into the darker, deeper emotional aspects of being. Number 3. If you haven't been chosen by your tribal community to become a shaman. Did the elders in your community, through the aid of the spirits, detect shamanic characteristics in you? Yeah, I seriously doubt they did. Number 2, if you haven't gone through years of training. There's an online course you can take for like $170, and in 150 hours, you're a shaman. But guess what? It doesn't work that way. Because after the spirits and or your community have found you appropriately suited to become a shaman, you need to go through years of grueling mental, psychological, and physical training under the apprenticeship of an actual shaman. Did you do this? Did you? I didn't think so. And number 1 reason why you're not a shaman is You were not born into an animistic society. Okay, there's a reason why this is number one on the list, because this is the most important reason why you can't be a shaman. The Western world is a Judeo-Christian-based Enlightenment-inspired society. It is not animistic. I've said this before. Being a shaman in this environment would be like scuba diving in a dry lake bed. Now, what exactly is an animistic society, you may ask? Animism is the belief that all of nature is animated, that flora and fauna and the natural environments such as rivers, lakes, mountains, and even thunderstorms are non-human persons with whom we may maintain and develop social relationships. That they're all filled with spirit. You modern shamans, you're LARPing is what you're doing. And you're lying. You're lying to yourself and to your clients. Or you're delusional. Take your pick. Now, why, may you ask, why do I care about this topic of plastic shamanism or neo-shamanism? What's the big deal? Let people believe what they want to believe. Why do I care? Because I like to emphasize the primal. Because the primal is the source where you find the raw truth. And shamanism is at the source. It's not only at the origins of the esoteric, but also all religions. It's said that all mystical and spiritual practices can be traced back to shamanism. But when you attempt to find information on the topic of shamanism, you get bombarded with this modern shit with one pathetic video, website, or article after another. Trust me, I'm not the only one who's critical of this. Native American communities really don't like this nonsense. They see it as a ruse to reap financial benefits by commercially exploiting indigenous cultures. But some of you neo-shamans might say, I went to a Native American reservation or Siberia or Ecuador and got training to be a shaman. Really? Just because you traveled to communities with indigenous shamanic traditions and participated in what you think are shamanic ceremonies doesn't make you a shaman. Were the ceremonies and or rituals you participated in quick one-on-one sessions, or maybe you did ayahuasca in Amazonia with a guy named Don Jose? Or was it a public shamanic sacrifice or mass healing? I have news for you. There's no guarantee that those that offered that shamanic experience were even shamans. You gotta understand that most of these communities are poor, and this is easy money for them. Those ceremonies and or rituals were altered specifically for gullible tourists like you. After you left, they weren't thinking about how they just had a meaningful connection with a fellow enlightened spirit. Nah, they were too busy laughing as they counted their money. In conclusion, my friends, I want to clarify something. It's okay to utilize shamanic techniques for personal use, to better commune with the spirits of the subconscious. Actually, I recommend it. You want to get primal, raw, and dirty in your practice. Just don't call yourself a shaman, because it's equivalent to stolen valor. You didn't earn it, and you don't deserve it. Until next time.